Anyone? Yes, ma'am.
Well, I've asked this question to 2 or 3 other candidates, not in your race, but you know, they have all these caucuses in Washington. You know, like the Mexican caucus, the Democratic caucus, the African American caucus. It seems like nobody on the conservative side has anything like that in Washington, and I was just wondering if that would be something that, like maybe a constitutional caucus or something like that represents, you know, our side of things.
We need concern. Look, folks, Barack Obama has done us the greatest favor since Ronald Reagan, and that is wake up the conservative movement. And we need 2010s, the beginning of the end of this socialist train that we're on. And we need to have conservatives going to D.C., banding together and making actual change, radical change, not politics as usual. And that's what happens. Yes, ma'am.
When you hire someone into a business, how far or how much of a background check do you make to see whether they're legal or not?
We don't have the capabilities to do that. And I'm going to tell you, I've told this story over and over. I get a letter at the end of the year from the Social Security Administration. It says this, it'll say, usually I get 2 or 3, and it'll say these Social Security numbers don't match up with what, you know, we've sent in on the W-4 or the W-9s and all that stuff. We don't have that. We need an E-Verify system, and it's out there. It's just not readily available for us. And we need to be able, as an employer, to plug in our EIN number, type in the Social Security number that they give us, and then put in the name that they give us, and make sure it matches. If it doesn't match, and the employer hires them anyway, fine the employer heavily. Okay? That's the story of that. We've got to have a system, and it's not readily available to us. And trust me, I'm a reserve deputy sheriff here in Pulaski County. I pull over, and I've worked South County, I have pulled over and over Hispanics, and they have fake IDs, fake green cards, fake Social Security cards, and I can't tell the difference. They are good. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody in the federal government was selling them to people to go and get them out there. But they are really good, and they're very difficult to tell. And so, you know, we've got to have something that we can plug in that number and see if it matches that person's name.
Well, how you know, who is willing to work towards that?
Well, it's the E-Verify system is out there. It's just not been widely pushed. And you know, I'm not a conspiracy theorist by any stretch of the imagination, but folks understand, I think everybody in this room knows, they want illegals here because they want their vote. And they're not going to fund programs to make it easy for us to verify if they're legal or illegal. And so we've got to make a difference starting right now to get that stuff pushed through. And here's the deal. I don't care if the Republican Party gets mad at me or somebody gets mad at me up there. I'm going to stand in front of every microphone, television camera, whatever it takes, and I'm going to say, they're not doing this. We need this. They're spending too much. If they throw me out, they throw me out. That's all right. Yes,
Scott, as our representative in Washington, would you co-sponsor Ron Paul's bill to audit the Fed?
No question. Okay. I think that's a great thing. We had a big talk about the Fed the other day going up, and we had somebody ask us about that. And let me tell you, would we co-sponsor to audit the Fed? And yes, I mean the Fed is. It's a national bank, and we don't need it. I'm sorry, we just don't need it. And it's also, it's not constitutional, and it's also something that is set up that is controlled. They say it's autonomous from the government. It's not. It's not. They appoint the head of the Fed. Whoever party is in control, they appoint that. Folks, you're going to owe the people that you take money from or that you get appointed to. You're going to owe them. That's the nature of the business. And I don't like that. I'm sorry? Sounds good to me. Look, I don't need, this health care bill is going to have, what is it, 16,000 or 14,000 new IRS agents to come in and audit small business people. I don't need the Gestapo banging down my door telling me that we're going to come in and tell you how much you can pay somebody or how much you don't need, and we can't do that. I am a fair tax person. I like fair tax, and I would love to see the IRS taking taken down. That it? All right, I will stay here. If y'all have any other questions, please.
I have one.
It's up to you, Doug. They've got
Quick. What are your thoughts on putting Social Security back into an agency of itself rather than in the general fund?
Oh, the problem with Social Security and so many of that Medicare is that Congress has robbed it blind. And it does need to be its own entity, period, and they don't need to be able to touch it. It ought to be illegal to touch that money. That's not their money. Exactly. Okay, thank y'all so much. I appreciate your time. God bless you.